Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of The Letter. This is episode number 33, and in the last episode, some stuff happened. Ashton and Isabella were at BRC, and they went to leave BRC, and surprise, surprise, they had a visit from somebody quite ghosty. So that happened, and we left, and we got away, and now we are in the process of talking to Zach and Becca to make sure they're all okay. So let's go ahead and load this game up. Okay, here we go. Now, the last episode was a bit long, and I ended it pretty abruptly. Hello. Relief washes over me as soon as the call ends. That was a call with Zach, but we got a journal entry. That is one of the things I needed to remember to go over real quick, So we have, after that close call, Ashton spent the night at Isabella's, only to be kept awake by nightmares. At an utter loss, and with all of his beliefs overturned, Ashton decided to check on Zachary and Rebecca. Unfortunately, only Zachary returned his calls. Now, we know from playing Becca's chapter that Becca is currently either talking with Professor Andrew Clark or she's at the library. Either way, she's dealing with problems of her own at the moment. But we know that she survives them because Becca lived. Spoiler alert. But here we go. Let's go ahead and continue on. Relief washes over me as soon as the call ends. Normally, I don't give myself a moment of respite. In times like this, gotta stay alert. Rebecca's still out there. Has yet to return any of my messages. But for the moment, I relish in it. This is probably the first time I've permitted myself to do so since last night. Even the muscles in my shoulders have been complaining from all the tension I've taken on. It still annoys me that all I can do right now is grit my teeth and trudge back to Isabella's apartment. Useless. That's what I am in the face of this. A mad dash around Luxborn and Anslem isn't going to help things. It's not like I'll simply stumble across them on a side of the road during a drive. The city's too big a place for one person to go searching for only two people. I'd be lucky if I even glimpse the hair of either of them. Pardon me. With one last hopeful glance toward the open skies, I slip back into Isabella's apartment and close the door behind me. Oh dear. Might have already grown used to this, but the waiting will always be the hardest part. Yeah, Tom Petty said something like that. More so when it's the people you care about.
You're up early. I thought you left.
I love how it's question marks like that's not obviously Isabella. It's not the first time I've seen Isabella like this. Standing casually by her kitchenette, ladle in hand, keeping an eye on whatever's stewing on the stove, while humming a soft tune under her breath. Well, is it ramen? Because apparently she only eats cup of ramen. 5 years ago, became a common sight after the three of them, including Zach and Rebecca, found mutual interest in cooking. Oh, good for all of them. After that, whenever our schedule allows it, one of them will invite everyone to dinner or lunch instead of eating out. Rebecca prefers it that way. Healthier, she claims. Zach's just too happy to be able to cook for everyone. Isabella, on the other hand, as long as there's food, she's happy. Well, that's why she's the best out of the group. Me, I've been banned from the kitchen ever since the pressure cooker incident. Easier times, good times. Right now, however, the scene brings an odd sense of normalcy, a strange fit with all of the things going on around us. Not unwelcome, only bizarre, I suppose. Isabella doesn't follow up on her question earlier, but she does raise an eyebrow my way when I take too long to answer. For that, I only offer a casual shrug in response, and a short answer.
I've checked with Zach and Rebecca. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
I'll add in a quip or two for her. If the timing for a joke isn't off, or doing so won't be inappropriate. Don't want to alarm her either. There's no reason for it. No reason to. Yet. Until Zach gets here, or until I've received an answer from Rebecca, whichever comes first. Nevertheless, it's clear she has plenty of questions. It's right there in the subtle crease between her eyebrows and the inquisitive gleam in her eyes. Curious as she is, though, she decides against voicing all of her questions out. Instead, she shifts her attention back to the stove and gestures vaguely with her hand in the couch's direction.
Well, if we're going to wait for them, don't stand around there. It's getting distracting.
Oh dear.
You're just cooking. How am I distracting?
I don't know. Something might explode again, maybe. Zach's kitchen ban for you is also in effect here, you know. Now shoo, go.
Ha.
Stop hovering. You'll ruin the food. I'll be done here soon.
Called him right the fuck out. She leaves no room for argument by swatting the ladle at me. Just like that, I've been kicked out of the kitchen. Left with nothing else to do, I drift back to her tiny living space and slump down on the couch. Alright. Oh dear, no, I don't like this. Already don't like this. Closing my eyes, I allow the noise from the television to guide my thoughts. We are going to have another ghosty dream, aren't we? Ones I've been keeping at bay. Freeing them from the cage I've built around them, so I won't have to think. One by one, they trickle back into my consciousness, each more frightening and unnerving than the other. So many things going on. So many things happening. Papers we've gotten from BRC don't provide any comfort either. Seriously, is there even a point to those after last night? What will asking those people do? If anything, this only proved there might be more copies of that dumb piece of paper. We have one here, but how many exactly are out there? More importantly, how do we get out of this stupid mess? Well, that's a very good question. I have no friggin' idea. Damn it, I haven't felt this kind of bone-weary exhaustion in years.
I don't want to think what might happen next in case I miss something.
Shit. Rebecca. Zach.
They're
Isabella.
all depending on me, and...
Ash!
I'm awake. God. The voice snaps me out of my thoughts, abruptly wiping away everything running a racket inside my head. Suddenly, Isabella's there, crouched in front of me when I crack an eye open. I haven't even noticed the exact moment when I bent over and buried my head in my hands. Figures why she's staring at me like I've fainted or something. Sorry about that. The crease on her eyebrows grows deeper at my lack of response. Although she's merely staring. God. Guys, I promise, it's not gonna get better. Although she's merely staring at me, without saying a word, her expression says everything. So much for trying not to alarm her with bad news.
Sorry, I just spaced out for a moment.
Uh-huh.
Don't mind me.
Uh-huh. For a brief moment, she seems to accept that. Quietly, she shifts, stands up, and takes the empty space right beside me. All done without a single comment. Then, next thing I know, she's gently pushing a bowl in my hands. Oh, hello. Oh, that looks very fucking tasty. I don't even know what it is. Scent reaches me first before I've gotten a chance to take in what she has just handed me. A faint, sweet smell of cocoa wafts. It says wafts, guys. From the dish. This game makes me so hungry. Oh my god. Calming, comforting. Despite the multitude of things bothering me, it certainly smells like the kind of food you'd eat on a rainy day. Though from the get-go, it doesn't look as appetizing. Excuse you? That looks fantastic. What is this even? Porridge? Would you put chocolate in it? Milk drizzled on top? She tells me my tastes are weird, yet here she is handing me something equally as strange. In fact, she has already started digging in hers. Just not sure if the taste will be equally as appealing. I'm sure it will be fine, dude. It's just chocolate and milk and stuff. Baffled, I glance her way. She offers no immediate answer, simply continues eating as if she hasn't done so in a week, with her focus solely on the television. She's not watching, however, just listening. As a background noise, voices from it seem too cheerful, a welcome distraction, if anything. It's only after she's finished off half the bowl does she acknowledge the question in my eyes. With a sigh, she cradles the dish on her lap and looks down at it. Briefly, her lips part, then close. A hesitation, though I don't push her. There's distant air on her, as if she has remembered something that warrants a poignant thought. When she speaks at last, it's in a tone too careful, like she's still weighing her words, considering the proper phrasing for it. Yet sincerity underlies each syllable once they're out in the open.
You should eat.
Very, very, very thought-provoking.
Back at home, Mom would never let us leave the house if we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Even Papa has gotten an earful when he tried. So eat. You'll need it.
Oh, I bet I will. She returns to her food afterward, while I can only stare at the one she has proffered not a few minutes ago. warm against my hands, tempting me to take a bite. Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zach and Rebecca, both out there. Who knows when that ghost will show up again? Even in our dreams, we're not safe. Fuck that. But that's it, isn't it? We don't know when, and at present we have a chance at respite, maybe the only one we'll have. Even if it's as mundane as sharing food between us quietly, just sitting side by side like this without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes as far back as the second she offered food. Still, in the end, Isabella's never pushed it. Rather, she lets her own silence convey her hope. Oh dear. Alright, well, this seems pretty easy. Seems like a pretty easy choice. What is our relationship with Isabella? It's like a few above the line. Alright. We're gonna take the offer, obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck were we gonna do otherwise? Not do that? The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, far removed from those jests and quips we've shared. Yet she accepts this with a smile and nothing more. Regardless of everything left unsaid, the sight of it brings comfort. More so than any generous offer of food can give. Though we both lapse into silence after, as we finish our food, there's ease in it. In this. In the muffled sounds of Luxborn filtering into the room. In the light streaming from her windows and the faint draft occasionally drifting in, catching the loose tendrils of her hair. In the way her voice falters when she tries to form words. And despite the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for the minutes to slow, for the seconds to last. But ultimately she's the one who breaks it. Softly, after a minute's pause, in words mumbled under her breath. Sometimes silence simply compels us to speak.
I've been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news.
Oh dear. This is gonna get fucking heavy, isn't it?
What if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but... I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, eventually...
What? She releases a sigh as her grip on the bowl she still holds tight. And wait, what? Is he not dead? I thought he was dead. I thought we... What? There are no tears, but you might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
Is he dead or not? I thought we got confirmation that he was dead. Oh, jeez, sorry. Just hit the desk. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. This is confusing me now because I thought we got the confirmation that he was dead, that he died, and that's what the call was about. But is he just doing worse? Like I don't know.
You have that scholarship from LuxU.
You weren't supposed to know that.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
A little bit.
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open, right there on the table.
Like there's still anything to hide. She snatches it away from where I placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face when she looks at it and rereads every line with a pensive expression. After a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and sets it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Ooh.
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Probably from Zach.
Zach sucks at lying. You have no
Right?
idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it. And anyway, if that doesn't pan out too...
I trail off, hesitating. Measuring the weight of my next words. I mean, you could have just not said that. Genuine as they are, part of me believes they're a burden. Too heavy to impose on her. Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have started. Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we are not what ties her here. It'll be selfish to ask that of her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say it nevertheless, if only to let her know that no matter what her choice will be, there will be people here whose lives her mere presence has changed. Mine most of all. Oh, fuck, man.
You.
Just say it, dude. God.
You have us.
Alright, well, that's not bad. The words startle her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. But before regret forces an apology up my throat, her expression dissolves into something I can't quite place. We have a new journal entry. Okay, we have, after leaving their friends an urgent message, Ashton returned to Isabella's apartment. He found the girl already up and about, cooking. Seeing his exhaustion, Isabella reminded him that he should take care of himself first and offered him food. With a muttered thanks, he accepted. Well, okay. I feel like that was not the important part of that scene. Of all the things that happened. Something distinctly softer, more tender, familiar. Almost in the same manner she glanced at me years ago. That day at the bridge. Oh, what day at what bridge? Tell me, tell me, tell me. However, I don't get the chance to figure out what it all means for her. All of a sudden, a knock breaks the moment, and just as fast, both our attention shifts towards the source. Is it Zachary? Before things can get awkward fast, I stand up to open the door while muttering some flimsy excuse in the process.
I'll get that. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Uh-oh. Who is it really? Really, I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Oh dear. The music went away. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I fling the door open, a whole chunk of the stone that has been stuck at the pit of my stomach simultaneously unseats itself. Oh, it is Zach. Okay, cool. Hey, what's up? There in the hallway stands Zach, his hand raised, ready for another knock. Alright. Although he's not at his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He's still panting when he pushes me aside and heads in. Well, alright then. The second his feet cross the threshold, he scans the place, eyeing what little he can see of the room from the doorway. When he finds none of whatever he's looking for, he turns to me with a questioning look. One that has a hint of panic in it.
You said it was urgent.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, ghost and shit.
Did anything happen? Is it Becca? Bella?
Everyone's fine.
Well, no. We don't know where Becca is, and I can tell you where Becca is, and she's not fine. But she will be fine, but she's not currently fine.
Well, Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet. But Isabella's...
I'm here, Zach. Morning.
Hey. His weight shifts at the same time the stiff line in his shoulder eases. Once Isabella walks up to us and welcomes him with a smile. He relaxes then, returns her greeting in kind as soon as he has let out the breath he's been holding, and the tension's finally off his body.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for then?
Why'd you call me here for then? Guys, the grammar in this game is just, it's going to destroy me. My explanation can wait. He has a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, what the fuck were you doing at the mansion? Right? The fact that he went to Anselm alone, for some godforsaken reason, warrants a proper one. I mean, because he went to check up on Hannah, I know that. Assuming that Hannah was there. My question is, has anybody gone and looked for Marianne? That's my real question. Because as far as I know, she's still in the fucking cellar. Ghosts or not, he's already been given a warning. It frustrates me to no end this might be the plan he mentioned the last time we spoke. Get that he's worried about Hannah Wright. Somehow they've become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might go after one of us at any given time. Sure, Zach made it here in one piece. By some dumb luck, he's alright, and this takes one off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect at the exact minute, there might have been a chance he wouldn't be standing here. It's a blessing in itself. Ooh, Alright, well, we have another choice to make. What is our current relationship with Zach? It is almost max. Alright. So let's say you're okay. What's that do? Perfect. Perfect. Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from it is my own relief. Despite myself, despite the rational part of my brain screaming everything wrong about Zach's neat little plan. We've had so many close calls within just a single night. Zach showing up in Isabella's doorstep alive, whole, and unharmed. I might as well take comfort in that while I still can.
You're okay.
Indeed.
You did tell me not to do anything stupid.
Yeah, but you kind of started to do something stupid, though. Suddenly, the whole room feels too heavy, and all I am able to do is drop down on the couch. A headache also threatens to burst in the same moment, or perhaps this is what release from anxiety feels like. Regardless, I reach up a hand to pinch the bridge of my nose, even if it'll likely do nothing to alleviate the impending pain.
Christ, you were right there! We have this stupid curse thing going on, and you were right there!
Oh, really, Ashton?
You just walked up inside a private property!
You believe in the ghost now.
Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering, and that's the least of it.
Uh-huh.
I know, Ash. But I can't just leave things as they are. I've gotta do something. I know you're not very fond of the rights, but they don't deserve it if something bad happens. Hannah most of all.
God damn it, Zach, I was worried.
Unexpectedly, he laughs. Not the half-hearted sort he makes when he's awkward or coming up with an excuse. A genuine one. Before my annoyance grows again, and I snap at him, though, he suddenly catches me in a headlock. His arms looping around my neck while he grinds his knuckles against my skull. Helpless, I squirm under his grip in protest. Even then, it's hard to do so when you're up against a 6-footer.
Zach!
Aw, he's worried. Why didn't you say so? That cool act ain't gonna fool me anymore.
Let go!
Ah. What bros. Alright, he relents soon enough. Though only after he's done ample damage to my hair. Oh god, no, anything but that. I hate it when he does that. 3 edgy 5 me. But for a few moments there, the tense mood finally lightened up, and everything felt like how it used to be before this whole mess began. Makes appreciating the little moments like this easier. Still.
Seriously, Zach. Why are you even there?
Told you already. I was looking for you.
Why would I even go there?
Good question. I don't remember what his justification was.
Well, you mentioned a plan with Isabella here. I assume that's where you guys went, since that's where she found the letter.
Oh. I guess. Honestly, it was so long ago anymore. I don't even remember.
Sorry. I was really at a dead end.
The logic in it stuns me into silence, to say the least. Then I remember his hesitance. The tone he took with me. The tone he has taken before agreeing to go here. The tone he took before agreeing to go there? Maybe? I don't know. Come here? Go there? There's no go here. That doesn't work. And all at once, my anger from what he's done wanes. Another journal entry. Holy crap. Partly, this is my fault for keeping things vague. I can't berate him for assuming that when I've only left him with vague answers. What we got now. That's not new, though. That's not new. Oh, there it is. Okay. Zachary arrived at Salemwell, tired and frazzled. Upon learning that he had come from the Ermengarde mansion that morning, Ashton could only express his relief that he was safe, and amused Zachary teased him for worrying, much to the other man's embarrassment. Haha. Well, alright then.
You could have called me.
Could have. Didn't he try? I think he tried.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't receive any, and my phone was with me.
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
The whole atmosphere in the room changes in 2 heartbeats. Back again to the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown another head, then gradually he shifts his attention to Isabella. The expression in his eyes, questioning, asking for confirmation. Like my word can't be trusted. Not that I'm holding it against him. Can't even believe the things coming out my mouth these past few hours. Meanwhile, Isabella stays quiet, has been like that for quite some time. She looks like she wants to disappear right now. Guilt, frustration, anger, fear. All of them flash fleetingly across her face before they melt away under an expression of worry.
Please tell me he's joking. You were there?
Yeah?
No, we really didn't. Everything was quiet last night.
Well, for a while. And then other stuff happened.
But Zach? At BRC? Ashton and I saw...
She never gets to finish that.
Sup, I'm Ash from
God.
Deal City. Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude. Pretty fine for an Asian guy. Sup,
Oh
I'm
my
Ash
God.
from Deal City. Baggers, watch out. Can't
Alright,
beat
I
me.
gotta
Looking for trouble?
take the headphone out because I gotta be able to talk.
Pretty fine for an Asian guy.
Abruptly, my phone rings again, blaring its badly sang ringtone throughout the whole room.
Trouble? Better not lie.
Both of them pause, waiting, while I pull it up to check the caller ID.
Sup, I'm Ash
It's
from
Becca!
Deal
Okay,
City.
cool.
Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me.
I'll tell her to get here as soon as she can.
Better not
Excuse
lie.
me.
I'm a cool dude. Pretty fine for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City.
Without another word, I slip out of the room and answer the call. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear. Oh, she's like super out of breath and shit, right? Yeah. Yeah, you just ran away from a ghost, didn't you? Ragged, a bit out of breath. There's a tinge of urgency in it. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she's just run a marathon prior to this call. Oh, you don't even fucking know.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet. Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library.
Uh-huh. What happened at the library?
Listen, Ash, about that thing Isabella has been talking about. There's something you guys need to...
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salemwell. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is... related to that.
You're there? Is Isabella with you?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of the button, I switch to the loudspeakers and step back into Isabella's apartment. Oh, hello! I hold out the phone towards the two, giving it 2 shakes, urging them to speak. Both are still carrying worried looks on their faces. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you two.
Becca? Is she okay? Hey, Becca!
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we're having, eh?
Hey, you two. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
I mean, considering you just escaped from the ghost, I think you've had enough worry. I don't think there's anything worse than that at this point.
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's the last person I need to account for, yet that call left an even more strained tension in the room. ... Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for too long. She only takes a matter of minutes to get here. And the second she steps into the room, Isabella clings to her.
I'm so glad you're okay.
Safe and
Ashton checked on you
sound.
this morning, but
Safe and sound achievement. Look at that.
he did?
He did indeed.
I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to drop by and let you know.
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not burnt to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere. Well, if we had kept the alternate universe, she would have been mangled on the side of the road after falling from the top of the library. But Ash would have already known that. Whole, alive. Although she seems a bit shaken, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I bet she disagrees. At least for now, I can relax, ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. But the minute Isabella pulls away from her, she winces, a small reaction. The younger woman doesn't even catch it. sets a precedence for a careful observation. Nevertheless, a closer look at her reveals a much more disheveled than usual. Hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. Back of her dress also shows stains of dirt in places it rarely gets into. She's also leaning more on using her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is the slight limp she has, noticeable once Isabella leads her into the room. It all sprouts a hatful? A hatful of questions. Okay. What exactly happened and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that. I grab for her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't be sure until after careful examination has been made. I suspect some bruising at least, although minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation. They have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only elicits another wince, forcing her and Isabella to a halt. Both of them turn to me almost the same time, their eyes searching mine for answers. Rebecca, for her part, doesn't appear quite pleased with the interruption. Or the fact someone has brought it to light. Oh dear. Now, guys, we're gonna be nice. There's so many. So many choices. Alright. Becca is just a couple over halfway. So I'm pretty sure are you alright is the correct answer.
You okay? You're limping.
That seems to be correct. As expected, she tries to hide it. This time, when she squirms from my grasp, it's with enough force she almost stumbles back if Zach hadn't caught her by the elbow. Even with 2 more people shooting her concerned looks, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Did you now? Little accident. Hard to believe when her other arm's nursing the supposedly fine arm. Isabella doesn't buy any of it either.
In a library?
Hey man, them books are fucking vicious.
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
What did?
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly, she goes very still, and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly, its grip on the limb tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture of comfort for herself. Warily, she casts a glance at everyone in the room. But only the one she spares for Isabella lingers longer, and in that moment, something unspoken passes between them. An understanding. It strikes me seconds later how utterly familiar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movie house, every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Can we? We have to check if it's bad.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment. Then, after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches for the hem of her sleeve. Raises it just enough for Isabella to take a good look at it. Not swollen, but a large portion of her skin starting to turn an ugly shade of purple.
Oh, that is gonna be one hell of a nasty bruise.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
Ouch! Like I said, nasty.
Nasty, nasty.
But she's there? She went after you. Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there.
Well, there we go.
Belle, she was using my own students against me. What kind of terrible person does that? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
Yeah, she's just a fucking bitch, isn't she? Fucking bitch ghost.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
Laugh it up, Ashton. I did. Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere. And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Actually, if it weren't for me, you would be dead by now. Because I did actually kill her. And I don't even mean the alternate universe where I made a different choice and she died. It failed. I failed first. And then on my second attempt, I managed to succeed the QuickTime event. So, you know, I don't know about the book. Silence descends in the room as the gravity of that one word hits all of us. Okay, we have another journal entry. So goddamn many. It's not even updating properly. There's so many. There we go. Hello there. To Ashton and Isabella's relief, Rebecca later called back. Soon, she showed up at Salemwell looking worse for wear. When the detective asked about it, worried, all the redhead could give was a frustrated answer. Fortunately, before the topic turned grim, Isabella stepped in. Okay. Dead. Another close call. Another would have. Another one we've narrowly avoided. How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. After all, she was the one who found that letter. I know, I was there. I've expected her to have caved in by now, yet her voice, calm and composed in the face of this, is what cuts through the thick air.
I'll go get a cold compress for that arm. You guys take a seat first. Ashton and I, we have a lot of things to talk about.
Yep. That marks the end of it. At least for the time being. And as soon as Isabella returns and hands Rebecca the cold compress she promised, we get straight down to business. Surprisingly easy considering the rigid air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we've brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out for close scrutiny. Zach's encounters with the woman and his dreams, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears. The dread, the fear, the terror she brings out, even in the bravest of us. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. Well, not according to most horror movies. There has to be logic be damned. Or at least, that's what Isabella and I would like to believe. Oh no. Oh, it's nighttime now. It's nighttime. I don't like nighttime. I don't like nighttime. Don't make me do this. ... Yet, even as the cold morning light shifts to the warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. None of this still makes any fucking damn sense. Damn fucking sense. Some kind of combination of words that are grammatical. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. Next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head, and the sheets of paper I've been holding smack the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it is a release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Indeed.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet.
It's an odd thing to hear from her. The very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. Well, didn't Rebecca talk about the shit she found in the library? Because that seems to be horrendously relevant. We can use a little of the optimism right now, I guess.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Very funny, Z-Man.
Haha.
Anyway, like I said, you discovered that paper right before the open house. No one else was allowed inside during that time. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But if we're going to include them in the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay. They went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Shouldn't we look into the mansion too? That's where the letter came from. That's where she came from.
Indeed.
Maybe it's just as the professor says.
Maybe we all need to get into the mansion on Halloween. Maybe that's where this fucking story is going.
I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Huh. Teachers lying to us all these years. Oh dear.
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Quietly, Isabella reaches for one of the papers Rebecca has brought with her and carefully inspects the words printed on the page. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Her eyes narrow with each line they pass, but linger at the illustration of the noblewoman's servant. Ba-bum!
Why do they have to keep this in the restricted section?
Because it's cursed. Rebecca merely shrugs at her inquiry, but now her own annoyance seeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Seems reasonable. Why else would these tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. But this might as well mean that what happened in that mansion years ago also equates into all of this. Indeed. I mean, I think we figured it out, right? Charlotte and the dude, whoever the dude was, I can't remember what his name was, were married. Whatever. And Charlotte bought a slave from the slave market. Assume, I would imagine, to free her or something or whatever. Like, it seemed like she was shutting down the slave market. So she has who I think is Takako, because I think it's a Japanese. They made it look like it was a foreign person, and I'm still convinced that Takako is the ghost from Kylie and her friend and all that. So my guess is Takako was the slave, and from that little thing that we got when Rebecca died, in that when I accidentally got Rebecca killed, we got like a fragment of a memory or something, which showed Charlotte and some other people like hurting Takako and the husband. So my guess is they had an affair, and Charlotte turned over Takako to the ministry or the church or whatever as a witch. She was burned and killed, and then curse. That is my theory. So, I don't know about the letter. I don't know what role the letter plays in any of this, quite honestly. And the letter Isabella found, it's at the heart of it. Maybe. The why and the how is what we're missing here. If I'm going to go by what Andrew told Zach, the connection between the letter and the mansion's curse may run deeper than what we've initially thought. We won't be able to figure this out without looking into the other. Fuck. How do I? The mansion's a private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. One thing's very clear after these last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will. It's another thing I cannot let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Albeit unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me waiting.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few...
Okay! I was not expecting more fun times right now. Okay, we are gonna save. I could end the episode. Oh, that would be so dick. That would be such a dick thing to do. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh booming noise rending through the eardrums of everyone in the room. Alright, I'm moving the microphone so I can get ready for a quick time event if I need to. All at once, the three of them are on their feet while I quickly palm for my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the four of us exchange anxious glances. Oh god. So much for a break.
Ashton, that might be...
Gather everything.
No questions asked, they waste no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella's unusually silent as she gathers everything in her arms. Her own movements sharp and precise, a deep furrow in her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. The moment doesn't last. Before we can even finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Jesus Christ. Suddenly the lights go out. The lights have been out, dude. The lights go out, and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. We are just gonna keep this saving thing going. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and I release the lock from my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person, but I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, a smooth surface against my palm, the trigger on my finger, provides the closest thing I have to relief as I approach the closet.
Ashton, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna let the ghost out, it's fine.
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
Worried as they all are, they immediately stop at the slight raise of my hand. But the edge is where they all huddle, in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Fuck me sideways. Oh shit. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh god, I kind of just want to end the episode on a cliffhanger. Oh, I can't. There's no way I can do that. I can't do that. You guys would absolutely hate me. Whatever's inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it has now moved to banging at the door, louder and louder the longer I dally. Another shallow breath. A glance at my companions. A nod. Something creaks. Oh, fuck me. Oh, God. Then in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal... Thank you guys. No, I'm kidding. Now, if I left that on a cliffhanger and we came back next week and this is how we started, the channel would be over. All of you would unsubscribe. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it, and still none. No ghost. No woman. Not a single trace of whoever's inside. Confused, I glance back toward my companions, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it isn't my imagination. Or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering to close it, I move back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. Everyone, we need to...
I'm sent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. God. Alright. I don't want it to keep going on for this long, though, because eventually I am going to have to end the episode. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine, in the back of my head as it collides against floor, with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. Jesus Christ. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision. And then, I sense it. Cold tendrils twisting around my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose, nauseating, sickening. A foul smell draining every feeling from my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. Hello there! Hello! You are appearing quite more frequently than you used to. Perhaps it's just inexperience, or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say. I'm not sure how to parse that sentence. The look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. She's a ghost! Of course you can't reason with it. Jesus Christ, were you actually expecting to be able to do that? And I know the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton, snap out of it!
Oh yeah, there's other people here. Why aren't they helping? No, no. I can't die here. Not yet. The haze fades from my mind and instinct kicks in, then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
Alright, well, I still feel like we're gonna have a quick time event. With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wails she fills the room with. Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person my hand can reach and leading everyone out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal the second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while I'm driving us out of Salemwell. I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night. Updated journal, ... Once again, we need to refresh it. With the help of his friends, Ashton tries to find a way to free themselves of the curse, piecing together what they currently know, but before they could figure it out, a ruckus coming from Isabella's closet broke the silence of the room. ... And we are on October 31st, Monday, and this is a very good place to stop. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed for more of The Letter, as well as whatever else is on this channel. Next time, hopefully, we will figure some of this shit out, because we're almost in the mid-30s in terms of episode count, which is fine, but we have to be getting close to some kind of resolution soon. I can only imagine. We need to start getting some answers. I'm getting a little antsy. So, if you're as hyped as I am, make sure you don't miss the next episode. I will see you then. Goodbye.